Welcome to Poor Man Sports. I'm your host, Eric, joined by my co host, Josh. I am a lifelong Eagles fan. Uh, Josh, you are
Bronco fan.
he's a lifelong Bronco fan. Alberto is I guess like our producer. He kind of helps us kind of guide us along our way, keep us in
Yeah.
check, uh, paying attention to kind of if we're getting off track or not. He's kind of new to this space, so we're really happy that he's going to help us out. He's our good friend. We're all friends. We live in the Colorado area, so
Until we
uh,
talk about sports, Eric.
Yes.
Until we
Yes.
yeah,
talk about
Give,
we always talk
sports.
about sports here.
give everybody
Okay.
the addresses. Give everybody where we live. No, I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of a pilot episode. We don't know what we're doing. We
Yeah.
call it Poor Man Sports because, well, we're just poor guys that don't know anything but we think we do. So if you're here to join us, we appreciate it. We invite fans, like real fans, to join us and share their opinions because we kind of want this to be like a good, healthy place. So we're kind of crossing over Broncos, Eagles, weird mashup, very weird mashup. But I guess I'm the outlier in this equation, honestly. So what do you got, Josh?
Well, all you sports fans out there, when you are listening, I'm sure I'll talk about analysts, first take, whatever it is that you're going to be watching. Um, I want to kind of compare us what we're all about to the Max Kellerman hot take. Eric, I talked to you about this a while back. Did you watch the video?
I watched the video. I watched it. It was,
What, what,
it was
what,
nothing.
what were
Nothing
your thoughts?
surprised me. What were my
What
thoughts?
were your
Yeah, nothing.
thoughts?
Nothing surprised me. It's large networks like ESPN and probably FS1 or Fox Sports. Those are the easiest ones that come to the top of my head. That's all just acting. I think it's become that. It wasn't. I don't think it was always that way. We come from a generation like Josh and I do, where there was a time where it felt like ESPN really cared. It was like fun to watch it because it was about the sports and the highlights and
Mhm.
getting your information that way. And now it's turned into this basically like a soap opera every day. That's what it is. At
100%.
least that's the way I
And
see
just to kind of give you a breakdown of it, Max Kellerman was invited to a show, and he spoke to his experience with Stephen A. Smith on First Take. And I remember watching it. And Eric, I know you and I kind of talked about this in the past, where Max Kellerman was kind of the guy that said ridiculous hot takes that didn't make sense. And then recently, he just came out and he said that he was the guy that needed to dig for situations or topics that he didn't believe in to kind of escalate the situation to put Stephen A. Smith in a position to be successful.
Yeah, that's
So to Eric's point, it was kind of about being a soap opera. You
yeah,
know, we're here in Poor Man Sports. We want to kind of talk about how we feel from an average Joe's perspective, on our takes of when we watch sports, how we feel, because we'll be the most relatable individuals that'll be out there. So I
right.
hope that we resonate to the majority out there, and I hope you guys enjoy that. So that's what kind of makes us different than your actual analysts out there in your top shows. So, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, what do you got, Albert? We kind of want to talk about our subjects are going to be kind of targeted a little bit towards more the Eagles and the Broncos and the current
Yeah.
state. It
Right.
is December 11th, 2025, so it's a Thursday evening. So, Albert,
Well.
why don't you kick us off? What are we doing? What are we even talking about? I don't even know.
Well. Okay. So I mean, look, for a team sitting at 10-2 right now, what do you think is still holding the Broncos back from being seen as a complete contender? What are
Hold
your
on a
guys'
second.
thoughts on that?
They're 11-2. What's come
They're 11
correct?
to.
And
Okay.
it's
All right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of weird?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Josh, you're the expert here in the Broncos. Why don't you start it?
11-2, they're top in the AFC next to the Patriots. Very interesting team. Watching the Broncos is kind of like watching a beautiful train pass by and wreck. Right?
What? Okay.
You're not going to agree with that?
Keep going.
Not every Bronco game has been a struggle from either the first half, the first three quarters, up until the fourth quarter, and then they pull it up however they want. Um, yeah, they are very hard. Like we're a winning team that is 11-2. That we don't even feel like we're 11-2.
10 straight wins, Josh. You guys have 10 straight wins.
I appreciate you bringing that up, and it's a stressful year for us. It doesn't feel like 11-2. It doesn't feel like 11-2.
Why
What
is
are
it?
you
We have
really
a
worried
lot of
about? What's
we have a
your
lot of
worry?
issues from the offensive side of things. We have a struggling quarterback who is inconsistent, who probably plays the best part of his football in one quarter, thankfully, at the end of the game. Okay. On top of having one of the best defensive um, team that is out there.
Okay. So you're worried about your quarterback. That's
Mostly,
your
I would say
that's your
so.
biggest worry.
Absolutely. You don't
Okay.
agree?
You know, I know that we're talking about what's going to hold them back, and I understand like your trepidation for Bo Nix, and I'm not like a Bronco expert. I don't dial in on them all the time, but I talk to you about them a lot, and I've watched their games like because a lot of times the Eagles will play in the morning, and then in the afternoon the Broncos will play in the afternoon based on our time zone. I understand you. I understand a little bit, but you, this is a symptom to me. You're worrying about Bo Nix is a symptom of years of spoilage. When you look at like the history of the Broncos, you've had John Elway, you've had Peyton Manning, and they've played at like these like phenomenal levels, and it's never fucking good enough for the Bronco fans. It never is, and I get it. Like you have those type of players for so many years, and you dominate, and they were really dominant in their positions, particularly Peyton Manning in that what is it 4 or 5 year stretch he was here. I mean, he was like a stat machine. So it's you can't replicate that, and I don't think Bo Nix will, and I don't think that's really an indictment on him.
So I want you to think about that, right? Yes, Bronco fans are spoiled. Yes, we're ungrateful. Um, and especially in the quarterback position. Okay. Um, Granted, sophomore year, I don't want to talk so down about an individual who's in year two. I get that. I totally understand that. Um, but the question is he the guy, right? Can he elevate, you know? Um, and is he good enough to take us to the Super Bowl this year? For the record that we have, we should be the top tier team, that favorite to go to the Super Bowl. And I don't even know if I'm convinced enough to know that he is that guy.
Well, you're 11-2, which is I think tied for the best record with the Patriots. I actually think we don't need to go down this rabbit hole, but I actually think you're better than the Patriots. They might have a better quarterback. I know Drake May seems to be a really nice player, but I think your team is overall better. And I don't think that Bo Nix is maybe he's like the weakest part of the team because your defense is so good and you guys have ingredients. But you guys have a couple of key ingredients to getting to a Super Bowl. Okay, and it's obvious. It's on the defensive side. You are the league leader in sacks. That's massive. And I believe you hold teams to around 16 or 17 points. Those two
Correct.
things right there are going to get you there. And the 2025 Broncos, you guys kind of remind me of the 2022 Eagles a little bit. It was Jalen Hurts' second year as a starter, third year in the league, but it was his second full year as a starter. He had very similar ish stats to Bo Nix-ish, not the same, but similar-ish stats in terms of like the passing. And you could kind of feel like you could kind of like there was an inexperienced part, right? Like the prior year, we were 9-8. You guys were 10-7 in 2024. We had a first round exit. Last year, you guys were 10-7. You had a first round exit. You lost to a superior team, and so did we in 2021. I think, but we led the league in sacks in 2022, is what I'm saying. Like, that's where I should have gone quicker. And so that took us to the Super Bowl. And Jalen played really well. He had a terrible fumble that kind of cooked us in the end. And ironically, we didn't get a single sack in that Super Bowl, but you guys are like on a historic pace for sacks right now. So I think you guys have key ingredients to get there, and I think you will get there. I don't think Bo Nix is going to hold you back. I think he's going to be a little wild and a little erratic at times. Like I know he has like some when he's throwing the ball downfield, he seems like he just fucking launches that thing, and he'll have like a wildly overthrown ball down the field. But I don't think he's like a I- you're not in quarterback purgatory here. This isn't some game manager. I think he can make plays. He can make plays with his feet. He's not afraid to throw the ball. So I think he's got like a lot of like an edge to him that you're going to need. You're going to need a guy that is going to be able to take some risks, dude, in a playoff game. Now that could go both ways, but I think you're overthinking this Bo Nix thing. Like who have been your quarterbacks in the last before Bo Nix, right? You had Russell Wilson. I can think of Russell Wilson. That was a disaster. You had Teddy Bridgewater at one point. You had I don't even know. Drew Lock was he in there somewhere? I don't even know, dude. So you're way above that. Like Bo Nix is well above that, and he's right now he's the winningest quarterback from the 2024 draft class. He's got the most
Because of
wins.
him?
Well, I think he certainly has better coaching, a better team, but I don't think he's. I don't think you guys are like held way back from Bo. This is his second year, man. This is the problem with the league now. I don't know if it's the problem. It is just the way it is, I guess I should say. You don't have long. Do you remember in the early years when we were young, you start guys that got drafted in the first round, it was rare to see them even in their rookie year. They'd like sit behind some veteran that was just kind of placeholding. You know what I mean? Like they were kind of learning. It was more of like a development league. Now it's like you throw these guys out here immediately, dude, and they have so much they have to like process and learn. And it's
Why is that? Why is that though?
well, I
Do you
think
know why?
it's I think I don't have an
The
answer of
quarterback
why.
position is a very rare position nowadays, unfortunately, right?
I think
You
it's
know,
always been rare.
your Mahomes, your Josh Allen's, they don't come as often as they should, right? Um, so the NFL, these teams are placed in a position where they have to start these quarterbacks prematurely in a lot of ways, right? And it takes a while for them to develop, to mature, and so forth. Aaron Rodgers, to your point, stood behind Brett Favre to be developed,
For
right?
like 3 years or something.
Allowed him. Say again.
It was like 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right? And it allowed him to mature and to develop, to learn the game, while actually kind of be mentored by a franchise quarterback, right? A quarterback that had won a Super Bowl and that had gone to the Super Bowl the next year as well. We don't have that luxury anymore, especially. The 90s was all about elite quarterbacks coming out, playing who threw it the hardest, who was top tier, who threw the most, and so forth, right? You had Brett Favre, Dan Marino, John Elway, right? After that, it was Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, you know. Now it's a very small. I'm going to argue this, and we'll talk a little bit more about this with other quarterbacks, but especially yours in particular. Um, your top five quarterbacks in the league right now typically are only top five because there's really nobody else.
I don't know about that. I think that the talent at the top is pretty high level. I mean, these guys produce. I mean, it's a different league. The offenses are built a lot differently now. But as opposed to the 80s, 90s, and early thousands where a running back meant something. I think now they're just so much different. Like the offenses are like kind of spreading you out. There's a lot more RPO even with some of these guys, but
So if we were to talk about the last 10 Super Bowls, okay, how many of those Super Bowls were won by no quarterback, no elite quarterback? How many?
well, it's been pretty much just like three guys. I think it's like four quarterbacks.
Which is who? Which
I
is
believe it's Mahomes three times, Matt
is
Stafford,
not one of the best quarterbacks of all time,
and I think
arguably
Tom Brady.
one of the greatest. Tom Brady. Who else?
And that's all I can think of right now. I think that's it.
10 years ago, everyone says that Peyton Manning was probably not elite enough, but he's been there before. He was mature enough. He knew the game. Even though he wasn't healthy, he was still able to carry the game and make an impact, right? By taking
Yeah.
care of the football.
I think Bo Nix is was a first round draft pick. In his rookie year, you competed in a playoff game. And remember, you're talking about like, is it Bo Nix or is it the coaching? Well, Sean Payton did have Russell Wilson. We weren't sure, nobody really knew. We weren't really sure about Russell Wilson when he came to Denver. We didn't know if he was gassed, like if he was washed. Found out he was washed. You got a quarterback. All of a sudden, you started winning. Yes, you had
We
a good
The
coach.
writing on the wall with Russell Wilson was always there, even when he was
It
even
was
when he
on the
was
wall, but
in
you didn't see
Seattle.
the cliff until he got to
Get
Denver.
out of here,
The cliff
please.
happened when he got to Denver. And then guess what? You moved on from him. You got a
What
quarterback,
happened
and
when he
you
was
got
in
the
Seattle?
playoffs.
You're telling me his last two seasons with the Seahawks, he was not an overrated quarterback?
Not in comparison to his year in Denver. It wasn't even close.
Simply because he left and he was extremely overpaid?
You made a comment about Bo Nix. Is it because of him or is it the coach? And it's like it's both. But you didn't make the playoffs with Russell Wilson. Yes, he was washed, but we didn't really know how he was really washed when he got to Denver. Because I can tell you right now, there was probably a handful of Bronco fans that were pretty excited to have him, and then they found out real quick he was washed. Then you went and got yourself a quarterback, and now you're going to be back-to-back years in the playoffs. So I don't think he's like gonna. I don't think he's holding you back that much. I think you want some better consistency from him, but I think it's year two. So look, Jalen Hurts had the same thing in his first year starting in 2021. There was questions about is he going to be the guy, and then all it took was the next year he took us to a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden it was like, well, he can do it. You have to get there first, but I think that's where you guys are at right now. So
So, Joshua, I mean, look, how much patience do you think Denver should have with Bo Nix before we start to really think?
That's a great question. Um, God,
yeah,
again,
how
we're a city who is very ungrateful. We're very selfish.
ungrateful as
Uh,
fuck.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't have that answer. Selfishly, it is what it is at this moment until someone else comes, right? And unfortunately, it could be next year. It could be the year after that. Um, but I don't want to dive too much into this. But if you were to ask me if we can still be successful next year with what we're doing now, that's questionable.
You're 11-2, 10 straight wins. You get the best defense in the league, in my opinion.
All right. Well, look, looking ahead, what needs to happen for the Broncos to take the next step and be legitimately successful next season, Josh? What do you think?
Our offense needs to step it up. 100%. We're in a league where, Eric, you and I have talked about this many times in the past, right? When you start as a quarterback in the league, okay, there is no tape, there is no opinion on you whatsoever, right? So it is free reign for you to play your game, right, and potentially look better than you really are. Okay, there's been histories of this. We've talked about Colin Kaepernick in the past. How many times have we talked about that? right? How was he his first year?
I don't think this is. Are you comparing Bo Nix to Kaepernick?
I'm not comparing him. I'm just simply asking you a question.
I don't think that's
Okay.
apples.
How was he his first year? How was he his first year?
I think he came in, and I think he came in his kind of like midway of the. If I remember correctly, he came in relief of Alex Smith, maybe.
Correct. Alex Smith was injured.
And he came out of
Colin
nowhere.
Kaepernick
This was
came
like
in,
he
right?
had a.
And he was winning games. He was putting up great numbers, right? Year two, he was okay, right? I think it was where year three, he was putting up okay numbers, but they were losing compared to Russell Wilson. Difference is Russell Wilson was winning games, okay? And he was a candidate for actually MVP that season, okay? Right? But everybody figured him out. He was exposed and he was benched, okay? Bo Nix looked like franchise quarterback potentially in year one as a quarterback in Denver. Okay. Everyone was speaking highly of him. He was doing great things. He wasn't graded really well in the draft. Okay. He was proving everybody wrong. Okay. Can I honestly say that he's evolved his game, that he's gotten better? Absolutely not. He overthrows.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I think I think his rookie year he had 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and this year he's at 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So I do think that there's been a little bit of a regression, but I don't think it's been enough. And I think there's a lot of tape on him, dude. This is a not for long league. They figure you out very quickly. So you're
Absolutely.
11-2. Your team is significantly better than a year ago. You're in position to go back to this. You're in a position to go to a Super Bowl this year.
Our
100%.
defense has improved, right? Our defense is where it needs to be, right? So if you were to ask me, is Bo Nix a franchise quarterback year two? Absolutely not, right? And if he continues to do what he's doing next year, like how he's playing, right?
Which is not even that bad.
Okay,
It's
he's
not
not
that.
going to be a franchise quarterback. He's easily replaceable. Okay,
I don't think he's easily replaceable.
the reason why he's so successful is simply not because of Bo Nix, right? It's the coaching and the managing and the development of Sean Payton and his play calling.
I don't think he's easily replaceable. I don't agree with that.
I disagree.
Okay. I just don't think you can replace quarterbacks. You need to be careful, or you're going to end up in purgatory, which is where you guys have been, and you're not in purgatory. You're not in purgatory.
So Eric, you're
This year we are not. This year we're absolutely not. You're not wrong.
Eric. So it sounds like you're saying that they're not overachieving right now. They're in the right place. They're where they should be. The Broncos.
Yeah, I don't think they're overachieving. I think the Broncos are. I think maybe they were a little bit overachievers last season.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're just at the top, and they have a good opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. And I think Bo Nix could be better, sure, but he reminds me a little bit of like the Broncos are reminding me a little bit of the 2022 Eagles, like the beginning of like a solid foundation and growth that's going to happen. That's what it kind of reminds me of. And I think your quarterback is going through a little bit of like a regression because he's dealing with the league, and seeing the tape and understanding his game a little bit. But I think because of your coaching, and this is the point of coaching, like the point of coaching is to help these guys like get through this and coach them up. And I do think that he's going to continue to progress because the more he wins, the more confidence he's going to get. That if you get a playoff win, that's going to be huge for you guys. If you go bounced one and
So
done,
you
that's going
keep
to
saying
be
that we've
massive
won
failure.
10 games in a row. He doesn't look like he's getting confident game after game. How many games
Are you in
did
that
we
locker room?
play?
Do
How
you go
many
in that?
games did we play, okay, where he didn't look confident and he didn't put up the throws, the numbers, the touchdowns, or get us ahead like he should have? What was that game where he was booed in
I don't
Denver?
know. You guys boo him
Monday
all.
night
You guys boo him all
against
the time.
who? The Raiders.
That was a Thursday
Trash
night game.
game. Thursday night game, excuse me.
It's the league, dude. It's a week to week league.
What was that
That's all I'm
score?
You're not
How
in.
did he do?
All I'm saying is you're
He
not in
had,
quarterback.
he had only 15 completions in 3 quarters against the trash ass Raiders. 15 completions in 3 quarters against a bum ass team.
Careful what you wish for. That's all I'm going to say. Careful what you wish for.
Now, granted, the positive side of Bo Nix. I know I'm coming off as a Bo Nix hater, right? The positive side is he is clutch, right? The Giant game is the New York Giants. If you want my honest opinion, I think he gets way too much credit. Um, he how many touchdowns? How many points in the fourth quarter
It was 33
against the
points,
Giants?
most ever, I think, in like a.
Ever in a game, right? One of the biggest comebacks of all time, right? Granted, against a extremely gassed team, right? In Denver, in high altitude, okay, right? Who couldn't have good time management, right? You know, we won simply because they were gassed and exhausted. Thankfully, because of 5280,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Okay. I guess. I don't know. I think when you
In
look
my
back,
opinion,
you just see a win on the schedule. I get it. Like it wasn't perfect. It was far
I
from
get
it,
it.
but
Any given
you
Sunday,
had a guy that
right?
could do it. Is the point? Like, yes, he showed up in the fourth quarter, but at least he fucking showed up in the fourth quarter. That's the kind of edge that you need. A guy that can fucking still pull you out even if he's not playing well. Be careful
Sure.
what you wish for. I'll keep saying it.
I wasn't hating on them. My intention was to actually give him his flowers, right?
I
Simply
feel sick
because,
that I'm like having to stand up for the Broncos more than you are. I'm sick to my stomach. Like people are gonna question like who the fuck is this guy? Like who
what
is
are you
this
talking about?
Eagles
I
fan?
sound like you.
Nah, nah, nah.
Eagles
You're
are up
you
3
guys are in your
touchdowns. Oh,
infant
we lost.
stages.
All right,
Oh, second
gentlemen, we
quarter.
need to
Oh,
let's shift to Philadelphia. Eric, what in your view is behind the Eagles struggling this season? Despite
Mm.
all things, they're doing okay. I mean, they're not doing great, but are do you think they're relying too much on Jalen Hurts to make magic? What do you think is going on? Do you think this is more about defense or the offense? What take us into your mindset right now, Eric?
This has been a frustrating season, and obviously we're coming off of a Super Bowl win, a Super Bowl winning season. We've been an extremely competitive team at the top for now. It's the fifth year now, and some of this is you're never full as a fan. Some of it's you're never full. It's never going to be good enough. And I literally just got done talking shit to Josh about this, kind of making poking fun at him. But like I said, this version of the Broncos is infancy stage. This Eagles team is very mature and well. Um, they're well seasoned and they know how to win. This can go many ways. There's been a lot of it's well documented. There's a lot of drama with our team right now, and a lot of opinions. And I think that some of they can all be true to some extent.
are you in
One
the
of the
locker room?
What's that?
Are you in the
I'm not
locker
in
room?
the locker room, but according to the
Oh,
local media, and I'm talking about
oh.
who in the
So,
local
so
area.
you know what's going on behind the
I
scenes.
don't know. You're right. You're right. You got me on that one. Look, at the beginning of this, when we won the Super Bowl this past season in 2024, our offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, who we only had for one season, left, took the Saints head coaching job. We then elevated the quarterbacks coach, Kevin Patullo, into the offensive coordinator position. He's never called plays, and so it's kind of a gamble, right? And since the beginning of the season, it has been evident that there's been a massive disconnect between what he wants to run offensively and how it looks, and how it fits in with Jalen Hurts' skill set. Um, and it's not working. And it's become, as the season has progressed, it has never really gotten better. It has just slowly declined and declined. And I think players have spoke out about it, and particularly AJ Brown, and who's our He's our wide receiver one. He's a phenomenal player. And we have looked dysfunctional. And I think that there's probably been some toxicity behind the scenes because there's been a lot of talk and rumors coming out of the locker room about Jalen Hurts' willingness to run certain plays a certain way. So it's very confusing, but I do think our problem stems from our inexperience at the offensive coordinator position, and I do think our quarterback Jalen Hurts is not playing well in this offense, and it's very evident. Um, and this is something that Josh has kind of been talking to me about for quite some time about Jalen Hurts. Is he a system quarterback? And I've been thinking about this, and I do think he's a system quarterback. But I've always said that I think he's the best system quarterback. That's it.
So first off, like let's be honest, every quarterback is technically a system quarterback.
Right,
Okay?
right. I get
Let me
that.
let me kind of indulge those of you that are listening what a system quarterback is, in my opinion. Okay, right? The team works around the quarterback to fit his needs, right? Um, to make him successful based on his strengths and his weaknesses. Okay, that quarterback has to work in that system. Okay, right? That's my opinion of a system quarterback. Right? Um, System quarterbacks out there, for example, Mahomes. You take Mahomes out of KC, you put him somewhere else, he's going to be successful. Josh Allen, right? Tom Brady, very successful in with the Patriots, right? Leaves the Patriots, goes to the Bucks. The man's successful, right? Tom Brady is the system. Josh Allen is the system. Mahomes is the system. Okay, right? My biggest argument with Jalen Hurts and why I say that he's potentially a system quarterback is, you know, can he elevate the game, through the way he throws the football, and down and so forth. Does that make sense,
Yeah.
guys?
No, I let me elaborate.
Mm.
So what Josh is saying a lot of truths here, I think. And to answer your question, Alberto, the failure is because we have a guy that's working the offensive system
Yeah.
that I don't think knows how to do the job. And then in combination, we have a quarterback that's just not playing well. And he's not playing well in this whatever system we're running. Jalen Hurts is successful when it's a run first football team. So if you're running the run pass option, commonly known as an RPO, that's where the quarterback is a running threat along with a passing threat, but it's a very specific type of play like scheme, right? And he's also very successful in the play action. And the play action is when you mask a pass with kind of a fake run and then throw the ball. Jalen Hurts, I think he's actually some of his best numbers are off the play action. I think it's like 85% completion, something like that, and over 13 yards a pass. That's a first down every time. Those when you have a strong running game and you can kind of blend those ingredients, RPO game, play action game, and focus your offense around those strengths that Jalen has, because that's where he's most successful. He runs that. It is proven that he can run that offense at a very, very high level. Very high, so high you're going to win the Super Bowl. Actually, you're going to go to 2 Super Bowls. And this isn't really about that. Can Jalen step back in the pocket and just throw the ball? He can throw the ball just fine. But it's pretty evident that it's showing that we're lining up in kind of a shotgun with an empty back set all the time, and it just doesn't work. Like there's just a disconnect. I don't have the knowledge to understand why it's a disconnect for him, but it just isn't working. And
Mhm.
what's that? Go ahead.
No, I was
Were you
gonna say.
saying
So, look, for the both of you, does the Eagles' current system still fit Hurts?
something?
What Hurts does best
No,
is
it's not. It's
and
failing.
my addendum to that is how much is coaching impacting him? Do you think?
I think that this is where I don't know. I could have an opinion. I think the coaching is definitely impact. I think your coaching has to tell the guy like, hey, this is what we're going to run, right? There's rumors that he's unwilling to do what actually makes him successful, like being a part of the run game. It's rumored that he doesn't want to do that because he doesn't like absorbing the hits. Well, I don't blame a guy for saying that. This is a nasty game, and it takes a toll on your body, right? So there's that angle of it. There's the human element to it that we don't understand. But on the other side of it, I think what a lot of people are saying, people like myself and fans, they're like, okay, fine. If you don't want to run the ball, then you better be goddamn good at the next thing. And he hasn't been that this year, just this season. And so, look, there's been a pattern, and I'm going to speak to both of you. In 2021 and 2022, we had a really good offensive coordinator named Shane Steichen, coaches the Colts now. Jalen Hurts was really good in that offense. In 2023, after Shane left, we did the same thing that we did this year. It was the first time we promoted this guy up. It didn't work. The front office, Howie Roseman stepped in, found a coordinator, Kellen Moore. It got right back to business as usual, and we won the Super Bowl. Here we are again in 2025, doing this shit all over again. So I think this is where I think there is some coaching. Like the head coach, I think deserves some blame too. Like, what are you? Why are you? Did you not see coaching talent? I wonder about that. It's a very strange dynamic with the Eagles. You've got this great, phenomenal roster, great players. You've got a winning. He's going to be our winningest head coach ever, but yet he's got these weird, like he doesn't know how to pick a talent from the coaching. I don't know what it is. You know.
So, according to, can I say stat muse? Well, am I allowed to say that?
You got it right.
Okay. According to stat muse, for every game that has lost, that the Eagles have lost, Jalen Hurts has thrown over 30 passes.
Yes, it's not good. He's not. It's not a drop
So,
back thing, dude. It's
so for every game that they've won, right, he's thrown the ball under 30 throws. Okay. So when he's asked to step up, they lose.
I don't
Okay.
know if it's an ask to step up. I think they're when you design
Throwing
an
the ball
offense
more.
is not
He's
right,
throwing the
but
ball more.
that isn't always the winning formula for a team. I think most teams that can win championships run the ball really well. Most
How
teams, when
many
you
throws
that's
does
most times when you're throwing the ball a lot, you are a one-dimensional team, and you're not going to win. Am I right or wrong about that, Josh? I'm not debating that you're saying when he needs to step up. Well, that could be a totally different. That could be many different things. Asking a quarterback to step up, saying throw the ball 40 times, I don't necessarily think is stepping up. You got Saquon Barkley in the fucking backfield. Like, why are you throwing it 40 times, right?
so we'll pick on low hanging fruit. Pat Mahomes in his entire career, Pat Mahomes averages 37 to 38 throws a game.
Okay, but we're talking about that's not apples to apples, dude. I don't think we're Jalen and Pat is they're two different quarterbacks, dude.
Josh Allen averages 32 to 33 passing attempts per games.
It's a little lower.
It's over 30. That's the whole idea.
And how many championships has Josh Allen won? I'm just asking. They've never had a running game, and that's a big reason
All
why they
right.
don't win. Go back to what you just said about
Tom Brady throws
Jalen to
anywhere from
elevate.
36 to
Your
42
opinion, your
passes a game.
opinion is your opinion is we're asking Jalen to step up his game by throwing the football more when that's not always a proven way to win. It
So,
has not been the formula for the Eagles to win. Does that make sense? That's what I'm telling Alberto. The Eagles' formula to win, the way we've been winning, has not been to throw the ball over
Eric,
30 times, Josh.
Eric, a successful quarterback that wins games, right? That quote unquote steps up, averages over 30 passes a game. Tom Brady, okay? Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, okay? Jalen Hurts.
Has been to more Super Bowls than Drew Brees and has won as many. He's won more than Josh Allen.
Jalen Hurts averages 25 to 27 throws a game.
So do you think that the Eagles are relying on Hurts to be the system instead of building a system around him?
That's a good question. I think this season you could make the case that maybe that's so.
So my question to you,
I'm
Eric,
slightly
is
agreeing with you, Josh. You realize this. I'm slightly agreeing. What I'm telling you about the Eagles, it is proven winning success when they do it a certain way, and they're not doing it this year. And I don't understand why. Why are we reinventing the wheel? If that's the case, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but if you're trying to reinvent the wheel in year 5, why? I just said what he's most successful in: a run first type of offense, and then where he is doing a lot of RPO and play action is where we're very successful. That's where he's successful. We've been to 2 Super Bowls with him, and we've won one, and he was a Super Bowl MVP. So I'm really happy you mentioned some of these quarterbacks, but his success has been quite a bit greater than some.
so Alberto actually had a great question about, is the team failing to build a system around him? I think that's a great question. He's a system quarterback. We've gone back and forth, right? I remember when Jalen Hurts first came into the league, when he started, right? He was a system quarterback, right? We were going back and forth. I don't think we can win. You guys can win a Super Bowl because he's a system quarterback. Blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, he wins a Super Bowl, and I'm like, you know what, Eric? I think he's a top tier quarterback. I think he's elite, right?
We win games. What's his overall? What's his
This year,
career?
this year,
His career record?
this year, right? He's going back to being doubted as a system quarterback, right? So if they're failing to build a system around him or whatever, right? And they're maybe relying on him stepping up more, he's not delivering. I don't know. Maybe they're not trusting him. Whatever, you know. Here's another thing too. Your boy Nick Foles that won you a Super Bowl. His entire career as a Philadelphia Eagle, okay, he averaged anywhere from 29 to 35 attempts per game.
But he was a different style of quarterback, Josh.
Quarterbacks that have played the style that Jalen Hurts plays, are they or are they not successful?
He's the only one that's ever been successful, in my opinion. He's the only outlier. He's an outlier. That's why I've said he's the best of that type. Because when you actually run the system that fits him, he runs it point where you win championships.
And you stated earlier that year after year teams evolve, the game evolves, right? Part of their job as athletes is to also evolve in time, right? Tom Brady has done it. Peyton Manning has done it. Mahomes has done it, right? Why he has multiple Super Bowls, right? He's in a position where he needs to adapt. He needs to step up. And he's not meeting expectation because he's very limited as a system quarterback. So maybe he's not the guy. Maybe he is the issue.
He might be. I'm not arguing. I think we're looking at this in the 2025 lens. He might be this year. It's true. I do think that we have an offensive coordinator, though. There's other points that people are pointing out about.
So you keep talking about the offensive coordinator. Is it the offensive coordinator's fault or is it Jalen Hurts' fault?
I think it's a combination of both. I think both can be true here. I think you have a guy that doesn't know how to really put his foot down because you've got AJ Brown, who's a phenomenal talent. Hold on, listen.
Let's be honest. Anytime an offensive coordinator has a successful year or so, whatever, like your guy, what happens to them? Where do they go?
They get hired as a head coach.
They become a head coach.
Yes. Probably most of them prematurely, truthfully.
How many offensive coordinators for the New England Patriots were promoted to a head coach?
Well, a few, yeah. I can't think of many that have been successful.
I'm not asking if they were
I don't know how many.
successful. What
I
I'm
know.
asking is was Tom Brady still successful with new offensive coordinators?
Tom Brady, Josh. This isn't the conversation. We're not talking about Jalen Hurts and
How
Tom
many
Brady.
offensive coordinators
We're
with
talking
the
about the
Kansas
same.
City Chiefs were promoted into a head coach role and Mahomes had to adapt?
I think Andy Reid does a lot more of the play calling.
You're not in the locker room, Eric.
I see Andy Reid with the play calling sheet every game, calling the plays.
Alberto, do I make sense? Am I just rambling over here?
Look, man, coming from a non-sports fan, I feel like this is getting a little heated, but I could be wrong on that.
I'm like
I mean,
slightly half agreeing with Josh here. I'm just
I'm a
trying to
little heated,
mhm.
but
explaining like
he agrees with me, so I'm
we're
okay
talking
with that.
about his we're talking about the fifth year that Jalen's been in the league, and we're talking about a 5 game stretch where he has been bad, and I will tell you it's not been good. I'm not even trying to defend him. I'm literally telling you it's not good. But I'm also telling you like that there's been a disconnect with the coaching and him, and it has manifested into this complete disconnect and loss of belief, I think, and maybe some confidence
Mhm.
in their ability to think that they can that he can play well.
Well, look, I'm gonna have to. This leads to like the biggest question, right? The kind of elephant in the room, which is, do you still see the Eagles as a Super Bowl contender? To the both of you, this question, and do you trust them in a playoff environment?
No, not this season. Not at
Hmm.
all.
Josh,
The Eagles?
yeah,
We're cooked.
really,
Yeah, I think selfishly, if you were asking me this like 2 weeks ago, um, yeah, I would probably say the Eagles can repeat.
wow.
We're cooked.
Right? You know, um, if not repeat, go to the Super Bowl again. I
We're one
still
and
want to
done.
say that you guys are potentially in it.
I
You
appreciate
know,
that. I appreciate
I
that.
think you guys are. Hey,
Yeah.
hey. To be honest with you, Eric, if I recall our conversations last year in the playoffs, I was rooting for the Eagles more than you were.
Please, please, that's a bunch of bullshit.
I was like, God, yeah, they're gonna win this game.
I mean, it's easy because you're sitting on the outside, and I'm the one that's stressing out here, and I'm not the only one. If you're an Eagles fan out there, you already know what I'm talking about. I don't need to. I'm not gonna. We're all thinking the same here, but
Being a fan or not, the writing was on the wall, right? Regardless, let's be honest too. There's a difference between the regular season. There's a difference between the postseason,
there
right?
is. You're right.
And there is an opportunity. Regardless, Eagles are going to the playoffs. Okay,
They may not. If they
they are.
continue
They
this,
will.
I don't know.
They
I don't
they, they will.
know about that.
They will. Right. They're going to have to extremely blow it in order not to. But
They're doing that right now.
they are going to be the most prepared and experienced team that can potentially go back to the Super Bowl. Other than the Eagles, who really has a shot to go to the Super Bowl?
The LA Rams. The LA Rams and the Green Bay Packers. That's what I would say right now. LA Rams for sure. LA Rams, Denver Broncos.
To you, Eric, I mean,
Okay.
pivoting, not really pivoting, but kind of staying on the same topic. Do you think that the Eagles are battle tested now after these struggles? Do you think they'll be ready for next season then?
Yes, absolutely. I think we come back strong next year. I think what's going to happen, my theory, and I could be way off, is just a poor man speaking, but
Yeah.
I think we have a phenomenal GM, okay? And maybe Josh agrees with that, maybe he doesn't, but we have a phenomenal GM who knows how to build a team. We have a great defense that's getting left out to dry because our offense can't score fucking points. So they're having to put in a lot more work than they need to, but I'm very confident in us defensively, and maybe that's why, like, if we do get in the playoffs, I'm going to hold on to that hope because you're right. The experience does kick in. There is this, dude, the level of pressure that happens when you get into the postseason is so different than the regular season because it's it. You're one and done. And so the Eagles, they do know what that pressure feels like. I do think next season is going to be a bounce back year because I do think that Howie Roseman is going to go out. And my guess is he already knows what he wants to do. That's the thing about this. They already know their plan. I think he's going to hire a coordinator. And I do think that they probably will, and I've heard people talk about this. I think they probably will have a conversation with Jalen behind the scenes and say, "Hey, look, I don't know if it's true if he doesn't want to run the football or not, but they're probably going to have to tell him like, look, we need you to play your game if we're going to win." Like I could see a conversation like that happening behind closed doors. They will do that. The Eagles care about the Eagles. That's the thing. Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are going to do. They make it very clear to everybody. They do what's best for the Eagles. So to
So,
Josh's point, they may have a conversation if it doesn't go right. They have the confidence to be like, well, we need to make a decision. We're going to do what's best for the Eagles. And if it's not with Jalen Hurts, they will fucking do it. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but they're the type of organization that will step up, put their balls on the table and say, okay, well, then we have different plans.
What were you
That's
gonna
just
say,
what
so,
Josh?
that's
so offensive coordinator is in year one, correct?
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
Do
but they
you
won't.
genuinely think they will fire him at the end of the
I
year if
think
you guys don't
I
win the
think
Super
he
Bowl?
will be viewed. Yes, I think he will be viewed as a scapegoat. I think that's what
I
the
disagree.
perception will be. That's what
I
the.
disagree. I disagree. I disagree.
So you think they're going
He
to keep?
he will he will continue on into next year. Next season, if they struggle, then they will release him.
Okay, let's bookmark that. Albert,
Yeah,
bookmark
save
that.
it,
We're not
document it. Because
Gabe.
here's the
This whole
thing: you
podcast
guys
is
are
about
still winning.
Yes, but this is going beyond just winning. This organization now, winning is changed. Like the way their interpretation of winning is a lot different now than it's not as simple as like, hey, get us to a playoff and get a win. They're like, nope, because Howie Roseman flipped this team. Like to put this into perspective, Albert, in the last 8 years, the Eagles have been in three Super Bowls, won two of them. The team that won in 2017 was a completely different team. He's
Mhm.
pretty much the first GM to flip a team within a couple of years and completely design a whole new team like that, and then be successful, even more successful than that team. That is who they are now, and they have a lot of that organization and that front office has a tremendous amount of confidence that they think they can continue to do that, and I think they can. So I disagree with Josh. I think that unless we go on some wild run, which could happen, I don't see I don't see
You
them
already see the writing on
favoring
the
the
wall.
coordinator over Jalen Hurts right now.
Yeah.
I think he's done too much for the organization. I think that they'd be more willing to ride it out another year with Jalen than this coordinator. That's just what I think.
Do you think the offense will evolve with Jalen Hurts, or you think they're just going to be relying too much on him?
No, I think they're gonna find a coordinator
Mm,
that's gonna make it. They're gonna make it very clear, like Jalen, this is what we need you to do
okay.
if you're gonna be our guy, because we know we can win this way. That's what it feels like to me. I could be wrong. I don't know shit. But I'm just telling you based on what the organization has done and the way they position the coaching and the players and how they operate. They don't fuck around. Like they run the business. It's a business at the end of the day, right, Josh? You know about this. It's a business at the end of the day. They treat it like that. It's what's best for the Eagles, and they're gonna make that very, very fucking clear.
I'm gonna ask you a question, a very personal question. Okay, and I don't want you to think about Super Bowls. And I don't want you to think about MVPs. Is Jalen Hurts better than Prescott?
Ooh, yeah, I do. I think he's better, but I think he's better in a different. Um, Jalen handles adversity a lot better. He handles pressure better. Those are the things you need when you get into these big games. It is. You need to have a guy that's like locked in, who has confidence, who's going to make the right play at the right time, who's going to have the right decision making at the right time. I think Jalen, those are like the intangible things you don't see. Do I think that Dak Prescott can stand in the pocket and produce greater stats? Of course he can. It's proof. You just go look at the numbers. But when it comes down to like what the business is about, which is winning, it's not the same. It's not the same. Dak Prescott has not done that. And in fact, Dak Prescott's been around a lot longer than Jalen Hurts, dude. He's got about
Agreed.
4 years on him.
Yeah,
So-
but let's also be honest, and we'll call it what it is. In the last 10 years, the Eagles have flipped the script, and they went from being a very questionable organization to a very legitimate organization. Right? Is it fair for me to say that?
I think it's more of we've been a very competitive. I don't know about questionable, but very competitive. Then we finally got over the top and figured out our formula. And now, yes, we're now one of the top organizations. Absolutely.
I'm going to keep it with questionable because I would also say that the Dallas Cowboys are a very questionable organization, right?
Of course they are. Their owner doesn't need to be that hands-on.
Regardless, you take Hurts out of the picture, you have Prescott, you win more games. Are you guys Super Bowl contenders?
I think we would be very happy during the regular season. But then when it comes time to put your balls on the table, put your chips at the center, I think the result would be careful what you wish for. Is what I'm always going to go back to because it's about winning at the end of the day.
So he is better than Hurts.
I don't think so. No, I'll take Hurts. He's proven. Hurts is proven. He's been in 2 Super Bowls. Dak's never even sniffed at the NFC Championship game. He's never even been there. Why would I possibly think that he could elevate us?
Do you have any last?
AJ Brown might get 1,500 yards receiving, but are they going to win?
Do you have any last thoughts on that, Josh, or before we move on?
No.
All right. Well, if both teams hit their ceiling, right? Is a Broncos-Eagles matchup Super Bowl realistic? How do you see that matchup playing out? To the both of you guys, whoever wants to start off.
If you asked me this again 2 weeks ago, I would have said yes.
You don't think it's realistic?
I will still think that the Eagles have a better chance of going to the Super Bowl than the Broncos do this year.
You think they have?
Even though we have an 11-2 record.
That team has a cleaner path to postseason, you think, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think they're more experienced. I think they will potentially get their head out of their asses, right? I think they're more mature than we are, right? If we lost in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, you are.
I think the Broncos-Eagles Super Bowl is no longer imminent.
Can that change? You don't see that. You don't see that changing.
I don't.
You don't see that colliding.
There's 4 games left. Okay, 4 games left. So a lot can happen in these next 4 weeks. I'm not confident we're going to see an Eagles-Broncos Super Bowl. I think the Broncos, they've got a very tough game Sunday. I think if they win that game, which I think they will, I think that there's a future there. If you're a betting man, feel good about putting a future on the Broncos. That's what I think.
Josh, what do you think?
You make me cringe on the future because, being a betting man and stuff like that.
Betting man, baby.
I wouldn't be surprised if we're garbage next year.
Next year? I thought we were talking about this year.
I know it's all about this year, but I'm just saying that if we continue to do what we're doing this year,
What about right now, this year?
we're not going to be successful. Do I think that we'll go to the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah. What about right now?
No.
We're not even at next year yet.
No. I don't think we're going to the Super Bowl.
Who are you? What team are you thinking is going to?
So that's really interesting that you say that, right? Because, other than the Patriots, right? Who is better than us? I would have said potentially better than us. I would have argued and I would have said that the Colts had a had the
No,
potential to go really far.
not at all.
Fortunately, with the quarterback situation, him getting hurt. Congratulations to what's his face coming back at the age of 44
Oh,
years old.
joke that Philip Rip. Come on, really?
Hey man, you heard Matthew Stafford was going to beat his all-time passing record, so he's catching up to him. Had to come back.
That's going to be an embarrassing thing for the Colts, but that's their problem.
Yeah, no. What gives me hope, right, is when you look at the teams that should go to the Super Bowl, who should be better than the Broncos. I don't think there is a team that is better than us, right? That's my light at the end of the tunnel. We're neck and neck with the Patriots, right? But they're very inexperienced.
Yep.
Right? The Bills are a mess, right?
Bills are a little bit of a mess.
This should have been their year. Right?
I know. I agree. The
Chiefs, for being a dynasty and for being as hot as they've been for so long, they're not even on the map.
They're not even on the
They're
map.
not in the picture.
Nope.
Right? So
here you got to get it, dude. That's what I'm saying.
That's my light at the end of the tunnel and that hope. But man, our offense is so inexperienced, and by our offense, unfortunately, I'm speaking about Bo Nix, right? I don't think he has experience in the post game. Obviously, right? Year 2, played one playoff game. Okay. I don't think Ben Roethlisberger, first year, second year. When were they undefeated?
Second year he won. They went 15-1.
His first year he went 15-1. Right?
He came in. I think he had 13-1, but he came in relief of an injury, and they never looked back. But the team was 15-1, but they got bounced in the championship game against the Patriots. That was Tom Brady, though.
So,
I look to wrap that up.
Yeah,
I think the Patriots. If there's something that the Patriots have that I think is better than the Broncos, I do think it's Drake May over Bo Nix. But that's not an indictment on Bo. I think that Drake May is a more talented quarterback. I think he's probably the best quarterback out of that last year's draft. I don't know if you agree with that, but you had Caleb Williams, you had Jaden Daniels, you had Michael Penix, you had J.J. McCarthy, you had Bo Nix. I think Drake's probably the best out of that. But that's it.
Nix has more wins out of that draft.
Right. He does. But I think that when you look at the second year, Drake May has been sensational. He's been pretty sensational for them. But I think you're right. I think he's going to not have the experience, and I think that Denver just has the defense. You guys have proven all year long you have the defense.
Yeah.
So
it's an inexperienced. When we played the Patriots, okay, it's an inexperienced team going up against an inexperienced team, right? And unfortunately, who is the better quarterback? Who is the better quarterback out of the two?
I would take the defense in this situation. You said it yourself that the defense is what's elevated more on your team. But Bo Nix isn't some scrub, dude. He's not chopped liver out here. He's not Peyton Manning, but he's not a scrub.
So obviously you're more of a Bo Nix lover than myself.
I'm not a Bo Nix lover. I'm trying to put it into perspective. Be careful what you wish for. And the Eagles fans, like me, I love Jalen Hurts. But life without Jalen Hurts may not be so great, is all I'm saying. So be grateful for what you have now and don't take it for granted, is all I'm saying. Because when you go into quarterback purgatory, you know what that's like. The Broncos.
Yeah, we've been there.
Mm-hmm.
You
10
have.
years, due time.
You're not there. And nor are the Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. Super Bowl champion. Fuck it, dude. Eagles, Broncos. It's happening. Super Bowl. Book it.
I thought you said, okay. Now you guys have changed completely. All right.
Done with this hateful slander.
Super Bowl champion. MVP. Look at him now.
Still winning games, right? Just run the offensive good at.
moving away from the Eagles and Broncos, because I feel like we've talked about those two teams tonight. But let's talk about, and look, this is coming from someone who's not really as experienced in sports, so you could tell me that it's not realistic to talk about this right now, but the wild card variable. Which team is one big swing away from becoming a true contender this season?
Well, Denver's in a better position to capture the 1 seed than the Eagles are right now. You guys have the same record as the Patriots, but I think they're like a half. I think there's like a tiebreaker that they have over you.
Yeah.
Am I right about that? I don't know what that is, but um, the Broncos are tied with 11-2 record with the Patriots, which is best in the league right now. So the Broncos have the best shot at getting the 1 seed, which gives them the home field advantage, first round bye, home field advantage. The Eagles are the 1 seed's gone. Like the opportunity to get the 1 seed is gone. So if we make it, we will be in that first weekend wild card round, which means we'll have an extra game to play.
What do you think, Josh?
Like your question is
Who has the
your
best
question.
advantage to get to the Super Bowl? Essentially, is what he's saying.
I guess
Oh,
what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Definitely the Broncos.
obviously the Broncos do on paper. Um,
On paper.
there's a lot of teams out there that barely have made it into the playoffs that went into a wild card, right? And they won it.
It's
Okay.
been a long time.
Mm,
Long time.
Giants did it twice, right?
But that
And yeah, it's a long time.
years
Giants have done it. Giants did it, right?
ago. The last one that did it.
The '98 Broncos did it, right?
That's
There is a possibility,
eons
right?
ago.
You
Well,
know,
of
there
course, but I mean,
is
that's
a possibility. Okay, so you can't rule them out specifically because of their experience. They've been there multiple times. Okay, how many times have they gone to the Super Bowl in the last 5 years?
who?
The Eagles.
2 in the last 8, 3.
Okay, so in the last 8, they've gone 3 times. They've won 2. Okay, um, it wasn't pretty getting there, right? Especially that
It was
that
pretty
first time.
good. No, we were 13-3 at the 1 seed.
So your first Super Bowl.
Yep, we were the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
13-3.
that's right. What's his
We were
face
not
was
a
actually
wild.
pretty good.
We were very good.
Carson Wentz.
The 2022 Eagles that went and lost to the Chiefs, we were the 1 seed.
Carson Wentz had a really good postseason game. Yeah, season
That was
or
Nick Foles.
playoff or a regular season.
Yes, he had a very good regular season. People forget that he had a phenomenal regular season. The last season we were actually the 2 seed, but we were 14-3, and the Lions were the 1 seed at 15-2, but they got bounced right away, which opened the door for us to have that home championship game because we were the second highest, we were the next highest. So because we had to play 3 games, dude, tough ones.
Going back to Alberto, your question. In the last 8 years, the Eagles have gone to the Super Bowl 3 times. Okay, they won 2 of the 3. Okay, they are the most experienced team next to the Chiefs.
Yep. To the
To
Chiefs.
win a Super Bowl, right? To be at the Super Bowl, right? They have a great chance of going to the Super Bowl again.
All right.
Just give them a chance to the playoffs.
The
right?
Eagles' problem is one side, really. It's just the offense. It's not a defense problem. Well, we do have a little bit of a special teams issue with our kicker right now, but for the most part, our defense has been very, very good. I'm telling you.
Yeah, our defense has been
Very good.
really good, and our offense is the problem too, Eric. Right? Unfortunately, we're just lucky. We're a little bit more lucky.
The
We're a
expectations
little bit more
aren't the
lucky.
same. The expectations right now aren't the same. Like you got a team that just won it, and then and put up historic rushing numbers, and did it with a quarterback that nobody thought could do it. Right?
I don't mind. I don't mind that. I don't mean to jump in and ask this question. Who has
Go
the
ahead.
easier schedule? Broncos or the Eagles?
I don't think either of them have been very easy. The Eagles have had the hardest schedule. We've had a fucking brutal. You have to take that into consideration. I know there's some injuries. We've had a brutal schedule, dude. Everybody we play is like 3 or 4 or 5 wins over 500. I swear to God, it's like everybody. And in the, you know what? These last 4 games, we play the Commanders twice. We have the Raiders this Sunday, and we got to play the Bills. So there you go. That's it.
Well, before we start to wrap up, let's close with this. Heading into the weekend, what's the one thing Bronco fans and Eagle fans should actually care about with these games? What should they be looking for?
Eagles just need to get a win, man. It's that simple. We just need to get a win and feel good about it. That's all. That's all it is. I think focus on just getting a win and get off this skid.
Well, timing is everything. And who do you play?
The Raiders, and I don't even know what to
How are
think.
the Raiders doing?
They're one of the worst teams in the league, but
You think this is going to be a closer game than people realize, right, Eric?
yeah, I do. I
No,
do, and I
it's
think it's
not.
going to be to
No, it's not.
our own demise is the reasoning. So
Josh is what why you cringe at that moment? What are you saying, Eric or Josh, or what?
What are the Raiders?
they're 2-11.
They're 2-11. Okay,
I know it shouldn't be a close game, and I have
they
a
have a
feeling it's gonna
one.
be. I just have a feeling, dude. I just have this feeling it's going to be one of these gross, weird. Like we should blow them out, and we're going to find a way to not blow them out. We'll find a way to just squeak past them.
I'm the
24-16.
biggest Raider hater out
Good.
there. Obviously,
Fuck
being
them
a
Raiders,
Bronco
dude.
fan.
Make sure you guys give
If
me
the
my brother
Raiders
chip.
beat the Eagles, if the Raiders beat the Eagles this Sunday, the next podcast that we do, show us your basement, guys. Listen to us. You know, there's 4 of us. We have fun. We talk about movies and all things love of movies.
We don't just talk about football. We talk about movies. So
I will wear a Raiders jersey.
Oh my
oh,
god.
shit.
That's how confident I am that the Eagles will
Do you
be.
have a Raiders jersey, Josh? You have to
I will go buy one.
It's a
Oh my
waste
god.
of money, I think.
Waste of money.
I will waste my money. I will buy a Raiders jersey and I will wear it to our next podcast, whether it is Show Us Your Basement or whether it is Poor Man Sports. That is how confident I am. They are a 2-11 team. Eric, where do they play?
Playing in Philly.
Huh,
So
interesting.
you saying this
Home advantage.
is a gimme, Josh? You saying this is a gimme?
This is a gimme,
This is
right?
going to be
The Eagles will lose or will win this team in their sleep.
no. This is going to be the most pressure we have felt all year. Oddly enough, the pressure is going to be so high in that stadium. The moment they go 3 and out,
Yeah.
the fans are going to fucking
You call this
that stadium's going to
a pressure
explode.
cooker? You saying this is you call this game
Yes,
a
this
pressure
is a
cooker?
pressure cooker. And
In what way? In
if
what
you know
way?
anything about what that
In
city
what way?
is like, if you know anything about what that city is like in that stadium, the pressure is going to be like. I mean, the margin for error. It's going to explode like a nuclear bomb if they don't come out and steamroll the Raiders. I'm just saying. What do you think about the Broncos, Josh?
Yeah.
What are you getting
How
out of them
are
this
you
week?
feeling, Josh? Scale of 1 to 10.
I don't know.
That's not a number.
I don't know. I don't know. Greater than or less than is, God. I question every game we go into. We are in Green Bay.
No,
No, we're in Denver.
in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Denver. My apologies. Oh man,
This is a huge game for Denver.
this is a huge game.
Game.
If Eric,
In
you
what
want
way?
to talk about
In what way?
The Packers are a good
what
team.
we're playing? So
Pretty much.
fun fact about Green Bay. Eric and I talk a lot about football on Sundays, Mondays, right? Earlier in the season, what did we say about the Green Bay Packers?
I think they were a little
They were
over.
they were the most overrated team in the NFL, right?
Well,
Love
I
was
think more
one
like
of the most.
overhyped. I think overhyped. I don't know
They
about
were overhyped,
overhyped.
overrated, however you want to call it. Love was questionable, right? And look at them now. Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying that you're saying the Eagles have a lot of pressure. I think the Broncos have more pressure, right? This is the first time that we're potentially
It's more
actually
like
playing.
right. I think this
This
is
is the
more
first. This is the first game.
we are
We've had a walk in the park. We've had it pretty easy. Okay, for the most part. Okay. This is actually going to be a legitimate game this
Yeah.
season for us.
I get it.
You know.
I agree. It's a real
So this is going to show whether I can tell you if we don't win this game, we don't have a chance in the playoffs.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
That's because we're playing a legitimate team. Since what? Since LA?
I would say the Chiefs, dude. I don't care what the state of the Chiefs
Chiefs are out. They're a mess. They're not even making the playoffs.
They were not out when you played them, and you needed to beat that team. You needed to get that off your back. You had to beat them. Patrick Mahomes had just dominated you guys for.
Please, they showed up trash and they're continuing their season in waste management, right?
You had to beat them. You had to prove you could beat them.
The other team that beat us was the LA, right?
They're 9-4. The Chargers are.
They're a legitimate team, right? Other than that, who have we really played except the Eagles, right? We beat them by a field goal.
You did beat the Eagles, and you beat them,
right?
And you beat us at home.
Other than that, who have we really played? Who have we really played?
Okay. I got you. I think I agree. I think it's two different pressures, dude. One is the pressure to prove that you belong, and one is pressure of like, what are we doing?
If we can't beat the Green Bay Packers this Sunday, we have no chance in the playoffs.
Okay. All right. I think that's crazy, but okay.
Yeah. Okay, Mister. Playing against a 2-11 team, and we're under pressure.
We are.
What else do we got on the docket, guys? Before we start to wrap up, Eric, Josh.
Let's do our picks.
All right. Let's see here.
This is what is this, week 15? We're in week 15.
Sir.
So week 15 starts with Commanders-Giants. What do you got, Josh? Commanders. Okay, I'm going to go Giants. Do you get the list, Albert?
Yes, I got it. Then we got Ravens and the Bengals. Am I doing that right?
Yeah, Ravens-Bengals. I'm gonna go Bengals. I love the Bengals. Love the Bengals at 2.5 at home. Love the Bengals. Ravens.
All right. Cleveland and Chicago.
Bears.
All right. Arizona and Houston. Who we got?
Houston. Texans are gonna win. Got the Texans on that one.
Can't believe I'm actually like. All right, but Buffalo, New England.
Buffs. I think the Bills are gonna win. It's gonna be tight. Let's go. Buffs. Are you talking about CU? What? I'm gonna go Bills. Let's go Bills.
The Jets and Jaguars. What do we got?
Jags. Jags.
Kansas City and the Chargers. LA.
Kansas. I think
Kansas.
Emotionally, I want Kansas City to win. I think the Chiefs are going to win that game at home. I think it's going to be tight, though, like real close, low-scoring game. I think I'll take the Chiefs. They are 5-1. That's crazy, but I think they're going to win. I'm curious about this one, Eric. Which one? Go ahead, Alberto.
The Eagles and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Birds, baby. We're going to fucking beat their ass, bud.
Where was this guy 30 minutes ago?
Yeah, Eric, I thought this was going to be a pressure cooker game.
Birds, baby.
Birds, all right.
Back on the fucking. Let's get back on the winning fucking.
You said this is a gimme for the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Eric, and I'm gonna say Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Eagles.
Take the Raiders, dude.
Dude, man.
Win you.
This guy. Oh, under pressure, but the Eagles are gonna win. Oh.
Indiana and Seattle.
Seattle.
Colts. The Seahawks are gonna fucking blow them out.
Rivers has 4 interceptions.
Oh my god, that's a joke. The Seahawks are gonna win this by $1 billion.
Yeah.
We got Tennessee and San Francisco.
Well, the 49ers are gonna win that.
49ers.
Titans are dog shit.
Green Bay versus Denver.
Go Broncos, dude.
Josh, you said this is the first real test. You said this is the first real test for Denver. Is that what you're saying, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first real team that they're going up against. Everything's been a walk in the park.
Green Bay.
You got Green Bay?
No.
I got Green Bay.
Broncos in a very, very tight one.
Damn. Carolina and New Orleans.
Oof. This is a dog shit game. Panthers are going to win.
Just because they're at home.
Panthers will win this. It's a dog shit game, but the Panthers are okay. The Panthers are decent. They're 7-5. I think they're going to win.
No touchdowns, only field goals.
Yeah, it'll be some weird fucking bullshit. I could see that, but Panthers are going to win.
Lions and the Rams.
Oof. Rams. They're at home.
Rams.
It's gonna be tight though. I mean the spread on the game is they got the Rams by 6, and I think that's a massive spread. I'm not trying to dive into that because you guys don't understand it as well, but I think that's a massive spread. But I still think the Rams will win. I think it'll be a little closer than that. I would say if I was a betting man to pick the Lions to cover on that 6, but I think the Rams will win.
And then we got the Vikings and the Cowboys.
Cowboys. Doing week over week.
I'm gonna just pull a wild hair out of my ass and say Vikings.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
Viking baby.
I mean,
He's rooting for the Eagles over there. That's why.
That's right.
That's all the games we got for this weekend, right? Or did I
We got one more. We got Dolphins Steelers Monday night.
There we go. Yep. Who you got?
I don't know where to go on that one. That's a weird one.
Miami.
Man, I kind of want to pick the Dolphins also, dude. It's in Pittsburgh though.
Yeah, but
oh god, I could see the Dolphins. They're such a weird team. The Dolphins. They're such a weird team. Like they look like they're the worst team, and then they don't. Let's just say the Dolphins. Weirdly, so.
Well, we forgot one more game, guys. Atlanta versus Tampa Bay.
Oh wait, that's going on. That's over.
I say Atlanta.
Yeah, I say Atlanta too by 1. Oh,
1 point.
1 point win.
Oh.
All right.
Well, that was going to do it for this first episode, this pilot episode of Poor Man Sports. I actually do want to end it with one little thing. I'm gonna catch you guys off guard. I'm gonna do a little segment, tiny little easy segment to finish it off. A poor man's mic drop. I want you to give a controversial statement of this season right now in football. Just a mic drop. Then we'll leave it. What's your hot take? Do you guys have any hot takes?
For the season?
Yes, for this season. This weekend, whatever it is, what's your...
Eagles win out.
Drop? Okay.
Poor man sports. Eagles win out.
Josh.
Phil Rivers throws 4 interceptions, gets injured, and he's done.
There it is.
Well, that'll do it.
Welcome back, Phil Rivers.
Welcome back, buddy.